Welcome to Three Dudes and a Lady. Join us for a little inspiration, a little motivation, and perhaps a way to cope with your day. I'm Mike Jones in Virginia, and my gratitude is for another beautiful day in Virginia.
Good morning. My name is Earl Rule. I am a licensed agent here in beautiful Raleigh, North Carolina. My gratitude for today is starting off a beautiful week, hopefully full of new adventures and you know, protecting and helping families out there. And I'm very grateful for another beautiful day here.
My name's Jay Anderson. I'm from the beautiful state of West Virginia. My gratitude is this platform. I had one of those ho-hum days yesterday, stinking thinking, and then got up under my own skin and played mind games and pretty much ran the gamut. Then this morning, sitting here listening to Jay Shetty really kind of made sure that I'm kickstarting my day the right way.
And I am Christine Wright, hailing out of Brooksville, Florida. My gratitude for the day is my church community. I'm so grateful for them, and our pastor is amazing. Love that community. But today we learned from Jay about being unpredictable, the value of turning off autopilot, right? Now he did say routines are good because they are, right? There are definitely some good things in a routine, but sometimes our routines can actually put us in a rut. He talked about the Pavlov's dogs and the salvation thing where he changed up their eating routine. And have you guys ever heard someone else's smartphone ding and you thought it was yours and you're looking for it? I experience this a lot, right? Because we think it's our phone, so we're looking for our phone because we get the satisfaction of somebody texting us or calling us, right? And we definitely make assumptions based on our past experience of, and that's where the phone dinging comes from, right? So our brain creates a pathway when we have experiences, but the problem is that that pathway sometimes becomes a rut, and then it's hard for us to make a new pathway from learning. What one of his suggestion was changing up our routine once in a while. Like he brought up brushing our teeth with our opposite hand that we normally use, right? When we require our brain to learn something, it creates a new pathway. What did you guys think? Like I experienced this last week because I had to change my morning routine up just a little. I mean, all I had to do was change the when I actually get ready for the day, right? Just the small thing, right? And even this morning when I woke up and I was doing that routine instead of my other one that I've done for years, I was like, man, this is hard, right? Because I didn't get to start reading or doing my actual morning routine that I normally do until 7, and usually I'm starting in at 6:30. So it was like 30-minute difference, but it was for a good cause because I didn't have to stop at 7:30 anymore, right?
Uh,
Any thoughts?
So spot on, baby. This is right up my wheelhouse.
Yes.
Being being spontaneous is being unpredictable. Now that it takes practice to be spontaneous. And it's not like you have to do it every second. And Christine, it doesn't mean that you have to go so grandiose with being spontaneous. Spontaneous could be as simple as you're sitting in a chair, you're watching TV, you start looking around and realize, is this really what I want to be doing? And you just jump up and go heading somewhere aimlessly. Maybe not a direction quite yet, but then you figure out once you get up exactly where you want to head. That's being unpredictable. And it is as simple as that type of a slight thing that can change the outcome. Guys, I just admitted I had a ho hum day yesterday. You know, that self pity party was just right down my ear, and I could not get into this unpredictable state. Jay's bringing that to my attention. I should have just jumped out of the chair, be who I've always been, was spontaneous, and just start walking. I'll figure out where the path leads soon enough. Sometimes you need that. It breaks the monotony of your day to day to day to day. I think when we do, everything is repetitive in our business. Okay. You have to have a little unpredictable in that to break the monotony up, or burnout will take place. So I think I love this subject.
Yeah. And you're
Yeah,
right.
and
Then
sometimes
oh, go ahead, Earl. Go ahead.
sometimes being spontaneous and creative can open up new ideas for what it is that you're doing. Now, on a personal level, for me yesterday, I'll tell you something. I don't want to say I was getting out of my comfort zone, but a lot of times during the weekends, if I'm not focusing on my insurance business, I have a part-time side hustle where I'm delivering food to people and groceries to people's houses or businesses. And normally on Sundays, I usually go to church, but I decided to get creative yesterday because I know my church service can be streamed online for those people who are disabled or sick. You can watch the service online. So what I did was I took advantage of that while I was working. So I can listen to the pastor preach while I was taking care of clients. I actually made a little bit more of a profit on that. So it is that time that you need for yourself. I'm not saying everybody should do this, but I found that it worked for me yesterday. So the weather was cool. It was sunny. I was meeting new people, getting things done, and just before the football games. So it was called being creative with your time.
Yeah, I love that. And I was going to say the same exact thing, is that spontaneity sometimes sparks creativity in us, but also like you were saying, Jay, that probably could have got you out of your rut, right? Because those ruts inside of our neural pathways are deep sometimes, and sometimes that is not good, right? And it's hard to transition out of that.
It is. Go ahead, Earl.
And what I was also going to say is, I know a lot of you out there get into these patterns where you don't like change. You like to get into that routine where you don't like change. You like to go the routine, but you're hoping for better results. And you got to realize sometimes you got to knock on the old head saying, listen, if you want different results, you got to make a change somewhere, whether you like it or not. That's the only thing that's going to happen. So you have to open up your mind to want those results to make that change. I know change is never easy for some people. Some people, hey, when they develop a habit or when they develop a routine, they got to change it for nobody, and they wonder why they're getting the same results. It's called insanity.
Yeah, exactly. The true definition.
That was
Exactly.
me to a T. Like if you would have asked me 5 years ago, Earl, you just described me to a T. I'm a rule follower. I get stuck in a routine. I don't like change. Like if something hinders my day and gets me off track, I would freak out. But of course, listening to Jay Shetty for the last 5 years of my life has changed a lot of that in me. So I'm still a rule follower, but I'm okay with change. I'm okay with spontaneity more now than I've ever been. But it was really hard for me. It wasn't easy. So all you rule followers out there, it's not easy for sure.
Can I give you another example of hard change? Last year, I think it was last year at this time, I was living in Window Falls, North Carolina, which is just east of Raleigh. And Window Falls is a beautiful small town community, which is growing at the seams right now. Businesses are going up, houses are going up. It's beautiful, but it's insane. But moving to North Raleigh, where I'm at right now, it's a completely different animal. It's a little more broader. There's a lot more businesses. It's a lot more busy out this way. But the thing is, I had to get used to my new neighbors, new people, new surroundings. And sometimes for me, that was not an easy change. And sometimes where you got to get to, if there's something that you're trying to accomplish, you try to get to, sometimes you need to pivot to make that change, to go different places to what it is that you're trying to accomplish.
Yeah, love it. Mike?
Uh, when I used to have to go to a new office, sometimes, even if it was a temporary assignment or something, you need to know the neighborhood, right? So it's good I would get lost. Can't be too far from, you eventually going to find your way back to somebody familiar, right? So I'd explore neighborhoods. Oh yeah, I rode down your street the other day and things like that. So that's how I kind of adapted to change, that kind of change. But I guess I was fortunate that in my previous career as a banker, my day was dictated by who walked in the door when the locks were open. So kind of had to be able to pivot right away. And here's a conundrum for you, Jay Anderson. Why do you call it a pity party when the first rule of pity party is you don't send invitations?
Right? Yeah.
Good
Should have
point.
Why is
said
it called a party?
self-pity party.
Yeah.
Self-pity party.
Thank you.
Stand corrected, Mr. Jones.
I like the concept too of brushing your teeth with the other hand because I had interesting my Wednesday morning meetings that I attend, and that's why I'm not here. We have to sign in, and it's basically because if you're late, it's a ding on your record. So I found my got to the party was talking. I mean, got to the party, got to the meeting, was talking. Found myself on the opposite side of a table. I said, okay, I can write Mike upside down. I don't need to walk back around. So I did it.
Nice. That
Yes.
definitely got you out of your comfort zone a minute.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you one thing that I have learned with being spontaneous. Maybe didn't recognize it earlier on, but as I've gotten older, paying a little bit more attention to it. Spontaneous can be, for me, like, have you ever gone to a restaurant and did a salad bar and sat down and ate it, and the lettuce was freaking fresh, crisp, I mean, it was just fresh. And you're like, oh, this is so satisfying. This is fresh. Salad bars, you can think routine. Lettuce, cheese, chickpeas, broccoli, tomatoes. It can just be a routine salad, but sometimes when you get that freshness, it just kicks in. Same thing with our mindset. It's the same process with our mindset. When that freshness sits in, it allows us to have different types of perspective, different types of angles, because we're experiencing something out of the norm. And it's those types of angles and perspectives I love chasing. I'm a product that loves change. A lot of human beings, and probably most human beings, do not like change. I accepted it a long time ago because I realized I can't stop change from happening. And I think at that point, I chose at that point just to embrace it. And it gives me, I think it grows my intellect side because it allows me to view things so differently and gives perspectives that if I stayed in a routine, I would have never had that opportunity to see.
And Jay, my guess is you don't necessarily like routine. Is that right?
I can, but it's only going to last so long before I figure out how to, alter it just enough to, like you said, maybe if it's a slight alter, um, I, maybe I get bored with it. I'm not sure. Maybe that's an angle for me. I'm not sure, but I think sometimes I can get bored. Uh, I wish that I almost wish that I had the bird brain of you know, ADHD or whatever, that I can't stay in locked in, because unfortunately I can stay locked in. I don't just start veering off in all these different directions. So sometimes I think those people probably have an advantage. They just have no clue that there's an advantage for them to have. And I'm not a therapist, or I don't understand that stuff, and maybe that's a bad analogy, but I I just need the constant of what's new, because it is coming. It's a matter of when. So I know if I get into a hard routine, that routine is going to look different down the road. It's just how far down the road does it start looking different?
Right. And you're
Mhm.
right about people with ADHD. They probably do have an advantage over us, but sometimes they might not know how to use that advantage yet, right? Because they're being ingrained to follow rules, right? Stay in the system, like follow your routine, right? They're being forced into that instead of letting them free willy it, right? Like where they can just be who they're supposed to be.
Oh yeah. Listen, it's hard. It's hard for some of us within the line of work that we do, is dialing. Very, very, very repetitive. That can be such a mundane event, particularly down the road. Up front, it's not. Up front, the freshness is there, like that new salad. That freshness is there, but down the road, you keep dialing, you keep dialing. Then you hear the statement, "If you've done it once, you can do it again." Then you hear the statement, we can cure your belly ache and make more bite or more dials. Then you hear, "Hey, see, you got one." Then you hear, "Make more dials." So, and I don't mean any disrespect for the process, because the truth is, the bottom line, when you make the decision that dialing your leads is where you need to go, that's what you do. It's your business, it's your livelihood. What I would interject with, why not mix it up some? Why not bring warm market into play? Why not think outside of the box and also hit other angles to drive business to you than just dialing 24/7? I think a lot of times I see the people that all they do is buy leads, and dial, dial, dial. Now, we've had a few over the years, Christine, where they've dialed 1,000 times a week.
I've been there.
You've been there, and you're play at that point. It is a numbers game. So at that point, do you become burned out? I mean, I don't know. Everyone's different. Okay. So, and then you can say, well, people go to call centers, and that's all they do all day long. It is very true. So that, I think we can be unpredictable by just interjecting the smallest little thing. You know what? I think I'm going to reach out to a couple of my friends that I haven't talked to in a while, because I know they've done very good with what they do in their life. Let's see if there's an advanced market opportunity here.
Yeah.
Switch it up.
And see, I am like Jay, when you were talking about the person that dials, and that was me. Like I work, like my first job was in a telemark. I was in a call center. I loved it. I loved it. I worked there for like 3 years until I graduated high school. I loved it. It was so much fun. I mean, if somebody yelled at me or hung up on me, it was no big deal. I just went on to the next, right? And it definitely transitioned. It helped me tremendously when I started here, right? But I could be the person dialing 1,000 leads, 1,000 dials in a week, no problem. It did not affect me. I didn't really care. It was more of a numbers game to me. And maybe if I added more spontaneity, but see, the problem is if I add in spontaneity at that time when I'm focused, laser focused on that, all of a sudden I'm going down a rabbit hole of, oh, I'm not getting back to dialing.
Yeah, and that's the part that I have that squirreling can take place. Let's call it what it is. It is a numbers game. You said that, right? Dialing 30 dials a day or 40 dials a day is not a numbers game. Numbers cannot take place within that. It's not enough. They say the size of the market can become the numbers game. It's true, but it can't be done with 40 or 50 dials in a day's time. Unfortunately, it can't. And now in our time, because every industry is trying to reach out to everyone, it's become even tougher. So that pool size has to get larger to be able to get back to the return on investment. And that's a key.
Yeah. And think about it, like, so is our neural pathway like just like with anything, right? It's part of a routine, and all of a sudden, like we're dialing, and we had a past experience that when somebody picked up, maybe they hung up on us, yelled at us, cussed us out, told us they weren't interested, whatever the case may be. The next time we get ready to dial, that's going to be ingrained in us, right? Like this happened when I was dialing before. So all of a sudden now I'm freaking out. Am I going to get yelled at? Am I going to get cussed at? What's going to happen? You know? So then all of a sudden that becomes a rut.
And I
Why
think
they never stop on the
that's the
no?
challenge. Yeah.
Would you say, Mike, or I didn't hear either one of you guys?
What'd you say, Earl? Go ahead.
Go
No,
ahead,
I
Earl.
I just simply said I think that's the challenge in it, though.
Oh,
That's
Oh,
yeah,
oh, it
that's the
is.
challenge in it.
It
And
is.
I,
And
and
here,
I said it's why you never stop on a no.
yeah. Don't stop
Even
on
if
it
you
though.
dial one more and you get a no answer, don't stop on the no.
Yeah. Great, great nugget right there. Don't
so
stop on
that
it though.
and that's the thing. We also understand what we do as a livelihood. The the resource or resources that our particular IMO and Symmetry Financial gives us is uh, the potential with leads. Okay. And they're very specific. What they went after is they created the market of home mortgage protection. So they went after that portion of saying, let's target something and let's work from that angle. Now, having said that, I think it's brilliant. And the kicker is in the last it's probably been a little longer, 2.5 to 4 years, we've seen a shift from analog leads going to digital leads. Well, guess what? They had the foresight to try to push that a little bit ahead. And there was a time frame where we were really the first people making calls through this COVID thing. And those calls were highly successful. They were highly reachable. Okay. Other industries had not gotten on the bandwagon yet, scared to get whatever it may be, scared to get on it or didn't know how to get on it. Symmetry was in the forefront of doing those things. I suspect they're in the middle of trying to figure out now how to differentiate from all these other industries trying to reach out to these people. So when I say those things earlier about, call, mundane or burnout, I don't mean any disrespect to the IMO. There is no disrespect, but it does go to show you how quick and how often change takes place. And it's up to us to try to do those little unpredictable things to keep us fresh within.
Yeah. it's interesting that we keep using this word change. And one thing I heard many years ago, and it was kind of funny, is the only people who like change are wet babies. But if you substitute change with growth, self improvement, higher earnings, success, it's a whole different mindset, right? I want to earn more. I want to get better.
Then ask
I'm in a
yourself,
rut and want to get
what
out
are
of
you
it.
willing to change?
And
Ladies
so
and
Change is the
gentlemen,
catalyst.
ladies and gentlemen, Mike Jones is our daily Buddha.
And think about it, like, what did we just go from? We went from 2025 to 2026. Guess what's happening right now? Like, people are making changes, trying to make new habits. Granted, like the 17th of the month is not very far off. So that's usually when people fall off the bandwagon, right? They usually don't make it past it. That's why I keep telling my son, because he does not like going to the gym when it's busy. And right now it's packed, like all the time. And he says, and he was like, and he always looks to see the busiest times on, he's an introvert. He's just like me. He is definitely my mini me. So, he looks online to see when the busy time is, and he's like, well, I'm not going to go to the gym today because it's busy all day or whatever. Or he'll go by the gym and see that the cars are all in the parking lot. Like, there's no place to park. He's not going in the gym, right? So I keep telling him, I'm like, well, just wait till the 17th of the month and then everything will be back to normal, right? You'll have your gym back because most people they won't be able to last that change for whatever reason. We've all been there, right? We've all made a New Year's resolution or a goal or whatever that just didn't stick, right? We didn't make it past January with that goal, right? So, Mike, to your point, like, change is just creating a new habit that's going to benefit you better for the year, right?
Mhm.
I'm not saying all change is good, but most of the time change is a good thing. Would you guys agree?
Well, it's the attempt to move forwards,
Yeah.
to evolve. So
Check you out, Jay.
to to Mike's point, growth is probably the better word. Okay. To his point. I just want to say change just to piss him off. So I'm just kidding. The the thing that I see with change, and again, I go back to please do not mistaken what I'm saying is I'm against with what's going on with our particular IMO. I am not. I feel like they are in the forefront of what they're trying to do. And it's the one thing that keeps me coming back for more is because I know when they make a change and they follow up and they say, folks, this is going to be tough for a little while.
Mhm.
We know this, but we are here to help work through this. Give yourself a little grace. And this is going to come back to processes here. This is where it's important to use the foundational processes that they do have in place. Those things can work with anything and any type of change. Those are the processes that we do not become spontaneous with. Those are the processes that we leave in place. It's just interjecting little things to make those processes explode for us.
For sure.
And not only with our IMOJ, but with other companies, or better yet, whatever it is, what career or what kind of businesses. How many times do we see change, either a company getting bought out, merge, or using other new pieces of equipment or new techniques, whatever it is? People have a hard time with change, and they have to pivot to that mindset. If I'm going to be here, I have to learn to change. And it's a hard thing with some people. Some people, after doing the same thing for 25 years, they have to hit. It's like a brick wall. It hits them and say, "Hey, it's going to happen. We need to better ourselves to that change." to make ourselves better. Otherwise, we're not going to go anywhere.
Well, I mean, think about like when COVID happened. You know, we had to make a huge change, right? Like we went
Right.
from literally overnight. We went from going to people's houses to the next day, all of a sudden we're digital. We're like, what in the world? What is this? Like it was a huge transition for us, right? But it was definitely for the better. Definitely saves us a lot of time and energy. I would definitely agree with that. Like think about it. Like I drove all the way around the whole state of Florida, you know, just
Right.
just because leads were happen to be in different parts of Florida and not just in my backyard. So I would travel 3 hours one way, Mike would travel 3 hours the other way. So and then all of a sudden when we went to digital, it was like, oh, now you know, like these people might be in my backyard, but it was almost like it became so much easier to book appointments because people didn't want to meet with us when we wanted to meet with them. And now all of a sudden we can meet with them over the phone or via Zoom, and they were like all in. They were, you don't have to come to my house. This is great. I didn't want you to come to my house anyway. Right?
We made, when
Right.
COVID hit, regardless of how people saw it, felt about it, or blamed or accepted, we changed the way business was conducted changed. It became easier for the consumer.
For
It
sure.
made the consumer lazy. It made the consumer say, I don't have to really do anything. I can just do this for a few minutes. Voila! It appears in a couple of days. So, and it's not going to go back to the way it was. So
Oh,
now bring in AI, folks. We're going through a massive change as we speak, and we we recognize it, but are we at the point where we fully accept it yet? I don't think so. I'm
Mhm.
not there yet. I'm just being honest. I'm not. Not saying that I won't be, because I'm the guy that said earlier, I like change. Doesn't mean that I'm skeptical of it, but it still makes my head turn. It still makes me think, wow, what are the possibilities?
well,
And
and just wait, it's not even over yet because you got to think about crypto and the
no,
blockchains, like what they're going to be capable of doing. Like,
it's just really
yeah,
getting
it is.
started.
For sure, because there is a lot of technology out there that is massive, and you know we got to be ready for that, right? Regardless if we're skeptical or not, like it's happening no matter what. There's no stopping it now. There's just no stopping it. No stopping AI. Like AI is not going away tomorrow, and neither is crypto. Like they're
No,
in it for the long haul. And we just have to figure out how to use those tools for our advantage, right?
we have to figure out how to make our own self relevant.
Yep.
And that's what's important. And the relevancy is in all facets of business. How do we make ourselves relevant? And it's just in everything.
Yep. This was a
You
really good.
adapt or you become extinct.
Or you
What'd you say?
become extinct. That's right. Uh,
Well, I
Jim,
missed it, Mike. What'd you say at the beginning?
You adapt or you become
Oh,
extinct.
yep, for sure. Yeah.
so true. Hey, folks, I think it's easy to say that we're not licensed therapists. All you had to do is listen to our show and you'll realize it. The good news is that we are licensed insurance agents. We get together on this platform every day because we listen to the app Calm with Jay Shetty, and it just empowers us to start a day. I think if you listened, you heard my transparency saying I had one of those days yesterday, and coming in this morning, getting on this platform just washes that feeling away that I had yesterday. Sometimes we need that. And this platform, that's kind of what it's made for, is intentionality, uh, self-growth, being able to recognize things. And when we recognize it, can we react in a positive manner? So please join us on a daily basis. Peace.
Jesus.